It's 1995. And the first recorded appearance and exploits of the rookie mercenary turned FCU, Federation of Central Usia, Ace, callsign Phoenix, TAC name Scarface 1, the Firebird who set the Skully Islands ablaze. Greetings everyone, I am Corrupt2969, and I'm going to help you understand the story of air combat, aka the first Ace Combat game. But first, I think this calls for a little history lesson. The making of air combat began after the release of the original arcade game in 1993. When Namco ordered the development of a PlayStation 1 port of the game, the team of programmers involved, led by producer Kazumi Mizuno, decided instead to make an original sequel because of existing hardware limitations, which made replicating arcade games at that time virtually impossible. The vibrant colors of the game, including the liveries of Scarface, were an intentional design choice to emphasize its casual nature. Technical limitations prevented the team from implementing various ideas, including the ability to watch replays of missions after completion, which was later introduced in Ace Combat 2 onward, and a system where accomplishing certain missions would affect future operations. The takeoff and landing system was included just a week after the game had been submitted for approval, being in mostly working condition 3 weeks afterward. As a result, copies with such sequences were available only to the programming team. Air combat set the stage for most of the series' gameplay features, the most notable of which is an aircraft's ability to carry an unrealistic number of missiles and cannon ammunition. The game's main goal is to destroy all designated targets in red, marked TGT, in each level. As they destroy targets, the player will gain money to buy new aircraft as well. There are non-vital targets, either marked with a white outline or a yellow marker on the map, that will net the player extra cash if they choose to destroy them. Due to the game's arcade-style, semi-realistic nature, it is perfectly possible to launch and be in an aircraft not fit for certain missions. For example, launching into an interception mission with an A-10 Burt machine with its 30mm anti-everything Vulcan cannon. From Mission 4 onward, the player will be able to deploy alongside a wingman. In the briefing screen, the player can give one of 3 orders to the AI ally. Cover me, aircraft flies cover for the player. Commence tells the AI to proceed with the mission objective. And on your own. Aircraft separates from the player and engages enemies at will. Now with that all squared away, onto the story itself. The year was 1995, and exact dates were either redacted or classified due to the sensitive, controversial nature of working with mercenaries at the time. It wasn't until the Balkan War, where the exploits of a different mercenary, callsign Cypher, TAC name Golem 1, opened the doorway to showcasing and even celebrating the achievements of their role in conflicts. The nature of this conflict, however, was hushed, and it was only brought up when the second coup d'etat in 1998 put these mercs into the spotlight again. By then, the company went through massive changes, going from a vast number of pilots down to 3. We don't know the specifics, as information about them is hard to dig up. When the Skully Islands insurrection was finally declassified in 2004, the exact events were still murky. The accepted truth of what happened in 1995 was that a well-armed insurrection took place in the FCU island nation of the Skully Islands. It is located southwest of the continent in the Spring Sea, which quickly overwhelmed the legitimate government. Attempts by the Loyalist forces to fight back were foiled by repeat surprise attacks from the insurrectionist forces, preventing any possible chance of retaliation. As a last resort, the FCU's military chiefs of staff employed the now-known Scarface Squadron for their assistance. The contracts were drafted, which I will be summarizing here. In exchange for their services, the mercenary group would be financially compensated and recognized for their duration of the conflict by the government and their associated agencies and departments as their premier top guns. Lieutenant General, commander of the FCU's Army Southern District, Robert Tyler, would be appointed as their official liaison for the mercenary group. The first recorded mission of Scarface Squadron, once they landed in the theater of battle, exact dates still unknown, was to put simply a test of their combat effectiveness. Though the operation title is factually incorrect due to the nature of the mission, destroy enemy supply lines, it is actually more of a disruptive action, since the targets are primarily airborne transport aircraft. The briefing tape will be played.
This is an evaluation of your operational abilities. Intelligence reports an enemy supply unit moving to resupply their forward positions. You should have the advantage of surprise. We should have localized air superiority for the duration of the operation. Target, C5A supply unit.
The total primary target count with their bounties is as such: 4 C5A Galaxies at 70,000 each, equating to a grand total of 280,000. 2 E-767 AWACS Airborne Warning and Control System aircraft at 300,000 each, totaling 600,000. And approximately 1 to 2 MiG-31 Foxhounds and the same number of F-4 Phantom IIs, costing 50,000 and 10,000 apiece respectively, roughly totaling those additional escort aircraft at 120,000. The FCU paid the lone mercenary 5,000 for the job itself. Though it is unclear whether Phoenix sortied in an F-4 Phantom himself or an F-14 Tomcat, the reports are unclear as to what exact aircraft they used throughout the campaign. The next 2 sorties Scarface Squadron went on were simply to fend off retaliatory strikes from the insurrectionists with operations, fire superiority, and intercept. I'll read the briefing transcripts as such. Immediate mobilization required. Our base's position was compromised in the last enemy push. Reports indicate imminent arrival of bombers. Scramble and ace those bogeys. Target B-52 Bomber Force. And as well, AWACS reports an enemy incursion in our sector. We are diverting your local air support to forward operations. Neutralize the approaching units. Target, enemy attacking force. Formation makeup is unknown. Expect enemy fighter support and a tough dogfight. It seems a standard FCU custom for their pilots to sign off each briefing by wishing them good luck. For the sake of sanity, I won't do the enemy formation and cost breakdown going forward. The reason I did that for the first operation was to show how much these mercenaries were making. Operation Night Attack on a coastal city is where the FCU, with Scarface Squadron, really started to push back against the insurrectionists. The city in question is Donette City, centered around the southeast side of the largest southern island in the Skully Islands chain. This is where strategic strikes began to occur to bleed out their economic and command efforts. I'll play the briefing tape for the operation here.
Up to now, our offensive missions have been constrained by the presence of civilians in Donut City. A recent evacuation of that city permits us to engage hard targets within the city perimeter. Target 1, Computer Communications Center. Target 2, Enemy Headquarters Building. Night conditions should neutralize enemy ground fire. However, the city has at least 3 interceptors available. We have no intelligence on force composition. From now on, you will have a wingman assigned to you. Inform him of the operation before departure.
The surprise attack under the cover of night played a key role in the swift liberation of Donut City. Following the night strike, our Operation Destroy Pipelines and Destroy Production Site, where the objective was to starve the insurrectionists of vital resources, their fuel and rare earth metals to produce weapons and planes. The exact sites, including an oil drilling facility and refinery located in a desert, and an open pit mine, exact locations are hard to pin down. Thanks to all on high, I'm in Osea.
The enemy's ADCRS, Air Defense Command and Radar System, has been identified. We can expect a steep drop in enemy effectiveness if this site is destroyed. The enemy has an effective SAM kill zone around the target. Its one weak point is a narrow ravine leading to the base. This requires precision, nap of the earth flying. Target, enemy radar site. You have no effective countermeasures to this model of SAM. Exit the ravine and you are toast.
Operation Suppress Radar Base. Another strategic strike, this time on a lone radar facility at the end of a damn canyon, where the upper altitudes are covered by heavy long-range surface-to-air missile batteries. I don't know exactly what Phoenix was thinking when he took on this operation, but he must have had a screw loose to fly in the tight confines of a canyon. It still baffles me to this day. I bet the collision warnings in their plane were blaring loudly, or they just muted them to get the job done. Though I have to give credit to the insurrectionists. A canyon is the best place to hide a large radar array. Operation Destroy Enemy Staging Zone was the insurrectionists' best effort to secure air superiority or level Donut City, acting as a direct retaliation for the destruction of their radar base. However, their operational security must have been lacking since the FCU caught wind of their staging area and eliminated their bombers while they were still on the ground. Operation Destroy Port Facilities. Again, after catching wind of where the insurrectionists were rearming and supplying their naval vessels, it was a no-brainer to strike and weaken their naval threat. From the transcript, a transport ship was heading to Noikot Bay, but by the time the operation began, it was long gone. It was suspected to be a troop transport, but it couldn't be confirmed. Targets of opportunity included the base, supplies, fuel, and a lone Aegis destroyer. Operations VIP Recovery, repel enemy from captured port, and storm the mothership were fairly routine for the Mercs. VIP Recovery was simply an escort mission for an FCU transport aircraft carrying a valuable information officer from a mountain fortress. The mission specifics are still classified, but the escort itself wasn't. I wonder why Phoenix went up alone as ordered. To avoid drawing suspicion to the transport, and was paid handsomely for downing the insurrectionist's quick response force sent to eliminate the officer. Operation Repel Enemy from Captured Port saw Scarface Squadron acting as a QRF to intercept an insurrectionist bombing raid on the recently captured point of Nuukat Bay.
The enemy is committing its huge mothership to this theater. They are growing desperate. Eliminate the mothership and their naval mobility is crippled. There are no reference points on the ocean. Pay attention to the operational map. Target mothership.
Operation Storm the Mothership aimed to completely destroy the insurrectionist navy in open water. Phoenix, and likely whichever wingman was available, engaged a fleet consisting of 2 transports, 2 Aegis destroyers, and the code-named Mothership, an aircraft carrier of unknown class. By the end of the operation, the fleet was confirmed sunk. Operation Reconnaissance. Despite the FCU's efforts, the insurrectionists still had fight left in them. Phoenix was sent alone to scout the Northern Islands desert region for any remaining facilities, though results came up dry. Robert Tyler authorized the elimination of any active patrols encountered. Following that, Operation Destroy Refueling Center targeted the last fuel refinery and storage depot. With its destruction, the insurrectionists were effectively starved of bulk fuel reserves.
Our offensive operations are now concentrated on the Scorpion Island fortress. The base itself is a hard nut to crack, but we will isolate it by eliminating its bridge and central runway. Target: Red Suspension Bridge to the island and its Air Force base. There will be plenty of ACAC and SAM defenses around the runway. Go in for one pass, then break off operations.
Operation Take a Fortress was meant to be the final nail in the coffin, targeting the last known base in Scorpion Island. Phoenix and their wingmen were tasked with destroying the bridge and airbase, heavily defended by anti-air and SAM sites, but this didn't deter them. Rumor had it that side bets were being placed on how many targets Phoenix had destroyed. The final operation, Strike and Destroy Airborne Fortress, was the final nail in the coffin for the insurrection. Strike was another canyon run. Of course it's another canyon run. This time with tunnels at the end. Instead of an expected base, it opened up to the sea.
Urgent message. Enemy giant airborne fortress discovered. This may be your final task. Eliminate it before it reaches our airspace. Good luck.
Discovery of Airborne Fortress. Soon after, radar detected an unknown contact. Phoenix was immediately deployed. The contact turned out to be the massive airship, a heavy command cruiser, and mobile HQ. It was likely a last-ditch attempt at mutually assured destruction. Phoenix destroyed its engines and bombarded the hull, bringing it down and ending the insurrection for good. Afterwards, Phoenix and their mercenary group disappeared for 3 years. Well, that's the story of air combat, explained the best way I know how. A lot of research went into this, not just from playing the game, but also from looking up extra information. I couldn't have done this without the help from the Ace Combat community and the people who run the wiki. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with my uploads. I also stream on Twitch, link in the description below, followed by credits from sources that I've taken here from YouTube. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.